in Florence, 1513. Niccolò Machiavelli sits in exile, stripped of power, tortured, broken. Most men would have surrendered. Most men would have begged for mercy. But Machiavelli did something else. He wrote. And what he wrote changed the game forever. Not just politics, human nature itself. Because Machiavelli didn't write about being good. He wrote about being feared. And he discovered something most people still refuse to accept. Something so dark, so unforgiving that 5 centuries later, we're still trying to deny it. He discovered that fear is the ultimate currency of power. Not love, not respect. Fear. But here's what they don't tell you. Machiavelli wasn't advocating cruelty for its own sake. He was revealing a law as natural as gravity. A law that operates whether you acknowledge it or not. And those who understand this law control everything. Those who don't, I get controlled. Tonight we're going deeper than the prince. Deeper than what they teach in universities. We're going into the hidden mechanics of fear itself. How to use it. How to weaponize it. How to become the kind of person people think twice before crossing. This is the Hidden Codex, where ancient wisdom meets modern power. Born 1469, Florence. Died 1527, same city. Diplomat, political theorist, historian, but most importantly, observer. For 14 years, Machiavelli served the Florentine Republic. He watched kings rise and fall. He studied tyrants, generals, popes. He saw power in its rawest form. And he took notes. When he was exiled in 1513, he distilled everything he'd learned into a single manuscript. The Prince. A guidebook. Not for the virtuous, for the effective. And buried within its pages was a truth most people cannot stomach. That in the game of power, being good is a disadvantage. Being feared is survival. But Machiavelli went further. He outlined specific rules, tactical instructions, for anyone who refuses to be a victim, for anyone ready to stop playing nice and start playing to win. If you've ever felt that being too nice gets you nowhere, if you've ever been taken advantage of because you refuse to be ruthless, if you're ready to learn the rules they don't want you to know, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Because here at the Hidden Codex, we don't deal in fairy tales. We deal in reality. And reality, doesn't care about your feelings. Now, let's go deeper. Something so consistent, so universal, that he built his entire philosophy around it. Human beings do not respond to reason. They respond to incentive. And there are only 2 incentives that truly work. Love and fear. But here's the problem with love. Love is unstable. Love is conditional. Love can be withdrawn. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "Men love at their own free will, but fear at the will of the prince." Pause. Read that again. You cannot control whether someone loves you, but you can control whether someone fears you. And that's power.
Because love is a gift they give you.
Fear is a reality you create. Now, most people hear this and recoil. They think Machiavelli is advocating tyranny. He's not. He's advocating control. Control over your own destiny. Because in a world where people only act based on incentive, the person who controls the incentive controls the outcome. Let's make this practical. Imagine you're managing a team. Option 1, be the nice boss. Everyone loves you. You're approachable, friendly. But what happens when you need something done? They delay, they make excuses, they take advantage. Because there's no consequence. Love without fear is weakness. Option 2, be the feared boss. You set clear boundaries, you follow through on consequences, you don't tolerate disrespect.
People don't love you.
But they deliver. On time, every time. Because the cost of failure, it is too high. Machiavelli understood this. And he understood something even darker. That most people would rather be liked than effective. And that's why they lose. He doesn't say be cruel. He says be selectively cruel. There's a difference. Random cruelty makes you hated. Strategic cruelty makes you respected. Machiavelli wrote, "Cruelties can be well used or badly used. Well used are those that are applied at one stroke, are necessary for one's security, and are not persisted in." Pause. This is the key. If you must act harshly, do it once. Do it decisively. Do it completely. Then never speak of it again. Because prolonged cruelty breeds resentment. Resentment breeds rebellion. But a single calculated act of force creates a memory. A memory that says, do not test this person. And that memory becomes your shield. Here's a modern example. You have a colleague who constantly undermines you in meetings. Most people do nothing. They tolerate it. They complain privately. Machiavelli would tell you, address it. Once, publicly. Not with anger, with precision. You call them out, calmly, directly. You make it clear that this behavior will not be tolerated. You do it in front of others. And then, you never mention it again. What happens? The behavior stops. Not because they like you now, because they fear the consequences of crossing you. And everyone else in the room takes note. That's strategic cruelty. That's power. They think he's saying, be a tyrant. He's not. He's saying, be aware. Aware that people are watching. Aware that reputation is everything. Aware that perception is reality. Machiavelli wrote, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Pause. This is critical. Most people spend their lives trying to be authentic, trying to show their true selves. Machiavelli says that's a mistake, because people don't care about your true self. They care about the version of you that affects them. And you can control that version. You can craft it. You can weaponize it. This is the art of the mask. You present strength even when you feel weak. You present certainty even when you're unsure. You present consequence even when you're merciful inside. Because the appearance of power is often enough. Think about it. How many people have you avoided confronting simply because they seemed intimidating? Not because they actually did anything, but because their presence suggested consequences. That's the mask at work. And Machiavelli knew, the person who controls their mask controls the room. In his private letters, he revealed, I have learned that it is better to be impetuous than cautious. Fortune is a woman, and it is necessary if one wants to hold her down, to beat her and strike her. Now, this is problematic language by modern standards. But strip away the metaphor and here's what he's really saying. Opportunity favors the bold. Hesitation is death. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll wait forever. Because power doesn't reward patience. It rewards action. Most people spend their lives preparing, planning, analyzing, waiting. Machiavelli says, stop. Act now, adjust later. Because the world belongs to those who move, not those who think about moving. Let's apply this. You want to start a business. You have an idea. Most people wait. They research. They doubt. They never launch. Machiavelli would tell you launch now. Imperfect, incomplete, unpolished. Then fix it as you go. Because the person who acts first sets the standard. Everyone else was just reacting. And in the game of power, the one who acts is the one who controls the narrative. The one who hesitates becomes part of someone else's story. The rule no one wants to hear. He says, a prince must not worry about the reputation of being cruel. Pause. Let that sit. He's not saying be cruel. He's saying do not fear being called cruel. Because in the pursuit of power, of security, of survival, you will be called cruel. By those you outmaneuver. By those you refuse to tolerate. By those who lose because you won. And if you stop every time someone calls you harsh, you've already lost. Because they're not calling you cruel because you are. They're calling you cruel because it works. It's a tactic, an emotional manipulation, designed to make you second-guess yourself, to make you soft, to make you vulnerable. Machiavelli saw this. He saw how moral language is weaponized, how accusations of cruelty are used to control those who refuse to be controlled. And he said, ignore it. Do what must be done. Let them call you whatever they want. Because at the end of the day, results speak louder than reputation. Security matters more than likability. And survival is the only morality that counts. Now apply this to your life. How many times have you held back because you were afraid of being judged? Afraid of being called selfish, harsh, cold? How many opportunities did you miss because you wanted to be seen as good? Machiavelli is telling you, stop caring. Not about being good, but about being called good. There's a difference. You can be good in your actions, but ruthless in your boundaries. You can be kind in your intentions, but unforgiving in your standards. And when people call you cruel for it, smile. Because that means you're doing something right. That means you're no longer controllable. Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find those willing to be deceived. Pause. This is the darkest truth of all. People want to be led. They want to believe. They want someone to tell them what to do. And if you're not willing to be that person, someone else will. Someone less ethical. Someone less careful. Someone who will use their trust and destroy them. Machiavelli isn't saying deceive for fun. He's saying recognize that deception is already happening. All around you. Every day. In marketing, in politics, in relationships. And if you refuse to understand how it works, you're not virtuous. You're just naive. So here's the question. Would you rather be the one who understands the game or the one being played? Machiavelli chose the former, and he paid the price. Exiled, hated, misunderstood. But 500 years later, we're still reading him because he told the truth. The uncomfortable, unforgiving, undeniable truth. That power is not a gift. It's a decision. A decision to stop pretending the world is fair. A decision to stop waiting for people to treat you right. A decision to create your own security. Through strength. Not cruelty. Not tyranny. But the willingness to do what others won't. To set boundaries others fear to set. To act when others hesitate. To be feared, so you never have to be afraid. Machiavelli spent his life watching power in action, and he distilled it into one ultimate lesson. One rule that governs all the others. It's this. The world does not reward the virtuous. It rewards the effective. Pause. Sit with that, because this is the part most people cannot accept. We want to believe that being good is enough, that kindness wins, that justice prevails. But Machiavelli saw otherwise. He saw good men destroyed. He saw kind leaders overthrown. He saw moral people crushed by those willing to be immoral. And he concluded, virtue without power is worthless, because you can be as good as you want. But if you have no power to protect that goodness, someone will take it from you. Someone will exploit it. Someone will destroy you with it. So Machiavelli's final teaching is this. Be good if you can, but be strong first. Be kind if you want, but be feared first. Be virtuous if it serves you, but be effective, always. Because in a world where everyone is playing the game, the person who refuses to play loses by default. Not because they're weak, but because they're unprepared. And preparation begins with acceptance. Acceptance that the world is not what you wish it to be. It is what it is. Brutal, competitive, unforgiving. And those who thrive are not the nicest. They're the most aware, the most strategic, the most willing to do what must be done, without apology, without hesitation, without fear of being misunderstood. It means Machiavelli is asking you to make a choice, not between good and evil, but between power and powerlessness, between control and chaos, between being the one who sets the rules or the one who suffers under them. Most people never make this choice. They drift. They complain. They wonder why life is unfair, but they never take responsibility. They never become dangerous. And dangerous doesn't mean violent. It means capable. It means this person cannot be taken lightly. This person will not be pushed around. This person has boundaries and enforces them. That's what Machiavelli was teaching. Not how to be a monster, but how to stop being a victim. Because in a world full of predators, the prey doesn't survive by being nice. It survives by becoming something the predators fear to touch. Pause. So ask yourself, are you feared? Or are you tolerated? Are you respected? Or are you ignored? Are you in control of your life? Or are you living by someone else's rules? Machiavelli knew the answer for himself, and he paid the price. But he also knew it was worth it. Because a life lived in fear is no life at all. Better to be feared and free than loved and controlled. Not because it's hidden, but because it's uncomfortable. Because once you see it, everything changes. You stop expecting fairness. You stop waiting for kindness. You stop hoping people will do the right thing. Instead, you become the person who makes them, not through force, through presence, through consequence, through the quiet, undeniable knowledge that crossing you we cost too much. And that's not cruelty. That's survival. That's power. That's what Machiavelli spent his life trying to teach. But most people still aren't ready to hear it. The question is, are you? Pause. Most people will close this video and forget. They'll go back to being nice, being accommodating, being weak, but you're still here. So maybe you're different. Maybe you're ready to stop being the one who gets used and start being the one who can't be touched. If this opened your eyes to something you've been avoiding, hit that subscribe button right now. Because here at the Hidden Codex, we don't stop at the surface. We go into the shadows where the real power lives. We explore the teachings they don't want you to know. We reveal what history's most dangerous minds discovered and what you can use today. Next time, we're diving into Carl Jung's darkest secret, the thing he found in the unconscious that made him question his own sanity. You don't want to miss that. Hit the like button if Machiavelli's rules challenged something in you. Drop a comment if you've ever been punished for being too nice. And remember, in a world that rewards strength, kindness without powers is just weakness with good marketing. Until next time, stay awake, stay dangerous, and never, ever let them see you hesitate.